This is Newsmax TV. I'm Ashley Martella. Our friend David Horowitz is at it again. He's out with a new book in his crusade to shake up those bastions of leftist indoctrination we call our universities. This book is entitled Reforming Our Universities, the Campaign for an Academic Bill of Rights. It suggests ways students can fight for their rights when subjected to indoctrination attempts. David Horowitz is the founder and president of the David Horowitz Freedom Center, founder of the group Students for Academic Freedom, a conservative writer, policy advocate, and Newsmax contributor. Welcome back, David.
Thank you.
Is there a political correctness code that substantially inhibits the free and open exchange of ideas and viewpoints on American college campuses?
As a former leftist, I think of political correctness as the party line. And there are definitely, you have to believe that America is a racist, sexist, homophobic, imperialist, Islamophobic country to get through many courses in universities these days. So I think political correctness is even too mild a term for what's going. This is the mentality of communist parties and communist states. And I know that makes me seem like an old fogey. But when you get to my age, you understand that communism is yesterday, and that the people who are shaping our university classrooms today, or lots of them, and have totally infiltrated the Democratic Party, think exactly the way the communists did 20 and 30 years ago.
Speaking of students, are students who disagree with these professors fearful of being punished with poor grades if they speak up?
Absolutely. They're so fearful. They're fearful of filing grievances because there's no conservatives on the faculty to look after them, and I can't blame them. I know way too many stories of students who were punished. You know, a student would write a paper challenging the professor, get a C-, and then decide that there was no future in that because this professor was obviously a political ideologue. And so they would parrot back what the professor was trying to impose on them and get A's. It's terrible. A lot of these classrooms are like classrooms in an Iron Curtain country.
All right, we heard you say recently, David, that conservatives have enormous leverage over universities. That comes as a surprise, I'm sure, to a lot of people. Please explain that.
Suppose the chair of an appropriations committee, who has really life and death power over the career of that president, because that president is coming to his state legislature. We're talking now about state schools. He's coming to his state legislature all the time, asking for tax breaks, variances, money, and so forth. And suppose the appropriations chair says, look, you have this class here, and the teacher is teaching what I think of as offensive doctrines, but I'm not going to quarrel with that. But you're a university, and you say you respect academic freedom. Why aren't there two texts in this class? Why is there only one? You think that president is going to risk all of his projects to deny the appropriations chair, to keep one book out of the classroom? I don't think so. I mean, that's just one point of leverage. But the boards of trustees of private universities, the major donors, tend to be conservatives. And again, if they paid any attention to the curriculum, if they would read this book, Reforming Our Universities, and get a picture of the lay of the land there, they could do enormous good.
David, you take a bodyguard with you when you speak on college campuses. What does that say about our university system?
Good question. I share a bodyguard with Ann Coulter and Michelle Malkin. We all have the same bodyguard. It's an absolute disgrace. But it has a very significant effect that you have on campuses. I have to call them communists because that's what they are, and Islamo-fascists. The Students for Justice in Palestine is a fascist organization, a Jew-hating fascist organization on most campuses. And if somebody like myself or Ann or Michelle come to a campus, they threaten violence and they intimidate students. I mean, I've had college Republicans who invited me say that they're fearful for their safety. The universities will do nothing about this. So what happens is, first of all, When we come to campus, we're like already tarred and feathered before we go in. We've been called all kinds of names by these groups, these fascist left-wing groups on campus. We've been called bigots and racists and so forth. So we're already beyond the pale. So we don't enter. When conservatives come on campus, they're not part of the intellectual dialogue.
One of Obama's buddies, William Ayers, the unrepentant 60s terrorist and co-founder of the communist revolutionary group Weather Underground, is a college professor of education at the University of Illinois. He was involved in the bombings of New York City police headquarters, the Pentagon, and the Capitol building. Years later, he would say, "I don't regret setting bombs. I feel we didn't do enough." David, how in the world does he land an education professor's job like this, considering his violent past, which he apparently cherishes?
Because the universities are hospitable to violent leftists. Billy Ayers, of course, has traveled recently to Gaza to meet with Hamas. Billy Ayers is an American Nazi, is what he is. But his title is Distinguished Professor of Early Childhood Education. And he's the editor of a series of teacher guides for K-12 teachers put out by the most important teachers college in America, Teachers College at Columbia. But you have to understand, there are people in universities who despise Billy Ayers, but they're intimidated into silence. The dominant forces, the people that control the American Association of University Professors and most faculty senates, are radical leftists who approve of Billy Ayers.
And finally, David, as far as you know, is California University Santa Cruz still teaching students how to organize a revolution?
Oh, absolutely. That's a course. It's described in the catalog as the goal of the seminar. These are the exact words. The goal of the seminar is to learn how to organize a revolution. I could show you whole curriculums that do that. All of Dana Cloud's courses at the University of Texas, which is a state taxpayer-funded school in a very red state. Every single trustee of the University of Texas has been appointed by Governor Rick Perry, every last one of them. And this woman is a tenured professor. She's a member of the International Socialist Organization. And every course she teaches is how to be a revolutionary. That's it. They're not academic courses, and they don't even fit her field, which is communications, where students are allegedly being taught, how to become journalists. She's teaching them how to become Marxist revolutionaries.
David Horowitz, again, thank you so much, and good luck with your campaign there. And again, the name of his book, Reforming Our Universities, the Campaign for an Academic Bill of Rights.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.